I think maybe they're playing San Diego at Buffalo, if my memory serves me right. Actually, I have the schedule in front of me. What am I doing? Yes.
It is San Diego
yes, I'm
at
right.
Buffalo.
San Diego at Buffalo. I have the schedule right in front of me, and I'm not looking at it. Anyway, yeah. So that's what it is. So that might be an interesting thing. I'm not sure how good of the defense the Chargers have.
I would definitely start Joe K, though.
Yes, I agree. I was planning on doing that anyway. I need to know who I want to start between Forte, CJ Spiller, or Chris Ivory.
Jokey dokie. All right.
Jokey dokie.
How do you feel about Niles Davis?
It's an interesting matchup. I mean,
he had 22 rushes last week for only like 79 yards.
It depends how much they want to use their other players on their team, because I'm not so sure that he's going to get that many touches again.
And I believe Jamal might come back this week.
Yeah, I don't think we heard any news on that. As far as I know, he'll probably be playing, but he might be limited. He's definitely going to be limited in what he can do because he has a high ankle sprain.
And then I would start for New England, Stephen Ridley.
Okay, yeah, that's also a good move.
I would definitely start him.
New England plays Oakland, so yes, that is a good deal. All right, now how about maybe some wide receiver picks, some people that you should definitely be starting for this week.
Starting for this week, wide receiver. Larry Fitzgerald, he's actually had an issue with his hamstring the last 2 weeks, and they're saying he's a lot better now. So look for Larry Fitzgerald to actually start catching some balls and making some moves downfield.
All right.
For Miami, Mike Wallace. He's been a surprise of the season so far. He's been doing some numbers the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
Definitely look for Mike Wallace for Miami. And Miami's not that bad of a team. Yes, they did get beat
by the Bills.
Nicely.
That gave me some hope as a Bears fan because
the Bills beating the Bears and then the Bears beating San Fran and then the Bills
just doesn't make any sense, does it?
And then the Bills going on to beat it's like, are the Bills that good this year? What's going on?
That's why it's going to be a very interesting matchup, and we will do this in our next segment when we pick our NFL Week 3 matchups. San Diego and Buffalo, that's a better game than you would think going into the start of the season for sure. This is going to be a real interesting game.
And you're listening to Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. This is Freeman with my co-host Ryan Stuprich.
Yes.
And we're talking about the Bills and how surprising they are. Is it because E.J. Manuel's healthy and you have to spread out the defense? You got to keep that QB spy?
I think it's been more E.J. Manuel has really figured out how to be really smart with the ball. Last year, he was sort of just throwing around willy-nilly. He ran a lot more, made a lot of mistakes. He kind of looked like how Colin Kaepernick did against the Bears on Sunday night. But E.J. Manuel this season has been a lot more conservative with the ball. He's been making smart plays. When there's not a play, he throws the ball away. He can rely on his running game with C.J. Spiller and who's the other guy that they have? The other running back.
Fred Jackson.
Fred Jackson, yes.
He comes from Coe College, which is from my hometown, Cedar Rapids.
Okay, yeah. So you got all the more reason to like him then.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think he can rely on his run game more, and then he can also feel more comfortable throwing the ball because they don't really have that bad of a team. They beat the Bears. They beat the Dolphins. We'll have to see what they do against San Diego. But now it is time for maybe some players that you should be benching this week. Yeah, because I'm sure there's some.
Let me at him, Coach. Put me in, Coach. Come on, Coach. I want to get in, Coach. Let me get in. Let me get on the game, Coach.
No.
All right, so who are some of the people that we should be benching this week?
The bench warmers of the week. I'm going to say I'm not a Tony Romo hater, but you might want to hold up on starting Mr. Romo. I know he just came off a hot start, but I would bench him.
Yeah, although he is playing the Rams, but the Rams do have a good defense, so I do agree with you. Also, I have the Rams defense on my fantasy team, so I think, I hope Romo does bad. But yes, I agree.
Dallas knows what you and I know. To win with this defense, they need to control time of possession, run the ball, and limit Romo's exposure.
Mm-hmm.
He used to just fling it deep which we saw week 1, definitely, with his 3 interceptions.
Right.
The Rams have allowed the 6th fewest yards on deep balls this season. So, sit Romo.
All right. Is there anybody else you can think of as far as quarterbacks, or are we transitioning into maybe some running backs?
Quarterbacks, just to touch on, I would go ahead with Ben Roethlisberger, but that's depending on what's happening with Greg Hardy. I don't know if he's out this week or not.
Yeah, nothing is really ever official until the day it happens with football.
Yeah, Roethlisberger's up against a tough Panther defense, but he's been doing the no-huddle a lot lately, so I'm sort of iffy on Roethlisberger. If you have a backup in Kirk Cousins...
Yeah, that's not a bad option at all.
That's not a bad option.
I was very impressed the way he played last week after RG3 left, so yeah.
Some running backs to sit. Shane Vereen. He could easily go off, and it is the Patriots. Lately, Shane Vereen hasn't gotten as many touches as you'd hope he would.
Right.
And he's not looking as fresh as Stephen Ridley has in the last game.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So I would bench Shane Vereen and start Mr. Ridley. Surprise, Le'Veon Bell is on my list.
Oh, wow. That is kind of surprising to me.
You probably don't have better options, but no red zone carries last week.
Mm-hmm.
Since last season, the Panthers have allowed only 4 rushing touchdowns, which is fewest in the league, and he is someone I would bench for running backs.
Okay, let's move on to wide receivers. If you have any that you think you should be sitting, although for wide receivers, it's hard to have a set person to sit because all of them are capable of scoring a lot of points.
Well, not for me. If you have Victor Cruz, sit him, because the Giants have not figured
what's up
out.
with Victor Cruz especially, though?
He
hasn't done anything.
It's not his fault at all. Eli has been horrible.
Yes, he has, and he's been horrible for 2 seasons now.
Their main receiver is Larry Donnell,
who I picked up.
His tight end.
Yeah,
and he's getting like 5 catches, averaging 5 catches a game.
Yeah, Larry Donnell, I'm not so sure about him. The issue was Vernon Davis is hurt and he might not be playing, so I had to pick up somebody.
Yeah. Vernon Davis is questionable right now.
Yeah, so I had to pick up somebody just to be safe, and that was the best option after I did some research on it. So I picked up Larry Donnell, and I'm hoping he can be the best on the Giants again, because I don't know about the Giants. They're looking like they're going to finish in last place behind the Cowboys, which nobody wants to finish behind the Cowboys.
And this might come out as a shocker, but I would wait. I'd hold off on starting Wes Welker.
Okay. Now, has he been reinstated and he's going to play this week? Is that what it is?
He is playing this week, and it's against Seattle.
Yeah, that's not a smart thing. Plus, they're probably going to ease him back into things. He just had a concussion. He's had 3 in his career. I'm not sure necessarily about him, especially when they have 3 or 4 other options that they can play in there. Any major defenses that you can see people sitting or playing this week, just overall, before we do an update?
Yes. Defenses I hate, Kansas City Chiefs and the St. Louis Rams, of course.
Is that because I have them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Just making sure.
And you're not even playing me this week. I'm just showing you an immense amount of hate. Defenses I really like, Houston Texans, and I like the New England Patriots.
Yes, especially they put on a show against the Vikings last week. So
I mean, the Vikings look good week 1, but week 2, it's like, oh, well, they're playing like the Vikings.
They're the Vikings again. Which
and they don't have Adrian Peterson anymore, so...
Nope. They just have to rely on Cordero Patterson and Matt Castle's wonderful quarterback skills.
Bring on Teddy Bridgewater, please do. Otherwise, Matt Castle's
they will
get
by
a snapped femur
by
or
week
something.
6 or 7, if they've lost all their games, they will bring on
I
Teddy
hope they're
Bridgewater.
smart enough to bring him on sooner than that.
Okay, we're going to do an update, and then we'll come back and we'll tease a little bit. We'll tell you what's going on and everything. We'll also have our Week 3 NFL picks. We'll also tell you how he did in Week 2. So stick around to Fantasy Fanatics. But right now, an update. Welcome back to Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
I'm Andrew Freeman.
And now, if you could pull up the Cubs score real quick, because It is, I think they've been playing for about an hour now, and I completely forgot about them because we're talking about football. But I completely forgot about them and what the score was. Yeah, you can always follow us on Twitter at Ryan Stuprich.
And at Freeman Radio. And L.A., the Dodgers are beating the Cubs 6-3. And it's not looking
6-3. So
yes.
Has Edwin Jackson, he gave up 6 earned runs?
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
Is it in the bottom of the first? I don't know.
No, it's got to be third or fourth.
No, those 6 runs were scored in the first inning.
Oh, my goodness.
And they are now in the second inning. I believe the second inning just closed out.
So it's been a long game because the game's been going on for over an hour now, and they only played 2 innings. That means the Dodgers, well, of course, when they scored 6 runs in the first inning. That's interesting. I'm assuming they pulled Edwin Jackson. But I don't know.
I'd have to take a look.
I mean, we can look at that more later, of course, because we will be talking a little bit about baseball coming up in our next hour. Also, coming up after our break in a few minutes, we're going to have the picks for NFL Week 3, and that will be very exciting.
Yes. And if we have time, we'll do sleepers.
Yeah, and if we have time, we will also do sleepers along with that. And then we will talk about NBA, which is something we haven't done. We haven't done it at all, actually. Because,
no, we have not.
Because when we started the show back in February, it was time for baseball to start.
Time,
yeah. We'll do NBA stuff. I know Ryan Risky knows a lot more about fantasy stuff as far as NBA goes. So he can be a big help to us next week when he comes. You can also follow him at rrisky16. But it's pretty interesting. We will take a break. We will come back and we'll give you our picks for fantasy football because, that's going to be good for our week 3 picks, and we'll also tell you how we did on week 2. So stick around at Fantasy Fanatics, SportstownChicago.com. Welcome back to Fantasy Fanatics on SportstownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
I'm Andrew Freeman.
And we are now going to go through the matchups, the winners and losers, if you will, for Week 2, and then moving on to our picks for Week 3.
Winners. I did it. I won. Yes.
Losers.
I never win anything.
Yeah, boo. Okay.
Ew, you suck.
Okay, let's just go right into this, shall we?
Yes. Oh, what?
All right. Week 2.
Week 2.
We had the Dolphins and the Bills. We both picked Miami. We were both wrong about that, as the Bills won.
Boo!
Jacksonville and the Redskins. We both picked Washington. We got a win for that. Dallas and Tennessee Titans. We both picked the Titans, and they lost. Dallas beat them. So that would be a loss there. The Arizona Cardinals and the Giants. I ended up picking the Cardinals. Andrew picked the Giants.
Yeah, I did.
And bad move by you, I guess, because the Cardinals won.
I guess Eli is that bad.
Yeah, he is. The Patriots and Minnesota, we both picked New England. That was an easy win for us. The Saints and the Browns, we both picked the Saints, and boy, were we wrong about that, as Cleveland hit a last-second field goal.
Edged it out.
They did. I give them props for it.
Andrew Hawkins. We'll talk about him if we have time.
Yeah, exactly. And let's see here. What was the next game? The next game would be Atlanta and Cincinnati. We both picked Atlanta. We lost that, as Atlanta lost to Cincinnati last week.
Well, they made up for it last night.
They certainly did. Detroit and Carolina. I ended up picking Detroit. Not sure why I did that. Andrew picked Carolina. Carolina did win. So we are back tied again.
He's back.
St. Louis and Tampa Bay. We both picked St. Louis. St. Louis ended up winning, I think, 19-17. So close game, but they edged it out. Seattle and San Diego. We both picked Seattle, and I'm sure most people did too. So that was a shame.
Yeah.
So that was not good. Texas and Oakland. We both picked the Texans, and they won. They beat Oakland. The Texans could be a surprising team this year, for sure.
I mean, you're saying that against Oakland, though? Come on, brah.
I know, but hey.
Come on, brah.
Anytime the Texans are 2-0, you have to wonder.
It's Oakland.
The Jets and Green Bay, boy, that was a good game too, but the Jets just couldn't hold on. We both picked Green Bay, so we were right in saying that the Packers would win, but I was really hoping the Jets would pull that out. Kansas City